Welcome to Play, Rewind, Eject, where we dive into another 10 movies that redefined the horror genre. The Pit is a bizarre blend of horror and dark comedy released in 1981, directed by Lou Lehman. The film follows Jamie Benjamin, portrayed by Sammy Snyders, a solitary and strange preteen boy who struggles with bullying and feels isolated from his peers. Jamie is not your typical child. He often finds solace in his imagination and his only friend, a teddy bear named Teddy. As he navigates his troubled life, Jamie makes a disturbing discovery in the depths of a nearby forest. A pit inhabited by strange, grotesque creatures he calls tralalogs. These creatures, with their insatiable appetites, become central to Jamie's twisted plan for revenge. When Jamie realizes that the tralalogs need food, he hatches a sinister scheme to lure his tormentors to the pit. This leads to shocking and often darkly humorous consequences, as Jamie's actions spiral out of control. The film explores themes of isolation, revenge, and the blurred line between childhood innocence and malevolence. The supporting cast includes Jeannie Elias as Sandy O'Reilly and Sonia Smits as Mrs. Lind, who help flesh out the narrative and provide context to Jamie's troubled world. Their interactions with Jamie highlight his struggles, making his descent into darkness all the more unsettling. Despite its low budget and mixed critical reception, The Pit has carved out a niche for itself, currently holding an IMDb rating of 5.7. Fans appreciate its odd charm and the unique premise that blends horror with dark comedy. The film has become a cult classic, often celebrated for its memorable scenes, particularly the infamous wheelchair scene, which showcases the film's signature blend of horror and humor. The film also touches on deeper themes, such as the challenges faced by children who feel different or misunderstood. Jamie's character, described as autistic, adds complexity to his interactions and the way he perceives the world around him, making him both a sympathetic and disturbing figure. With its eccentric storytelling and unsettling atmosphere, The Pit remains a fascinating entry in 80s horror cinema. It appeals to fans of the genre looking for something unconventional and thought-provoking, making it a must-watch for those who appreciate cult classics. The House is a unique blend of horror and comedy, released in 1985, directed by Steve Miner. The film follows Roger Cobb, played by William Catt, a troubled writer who moves into his late aunt's creepy old house to work on his next novel. However, he soon discovers that the house is filled with sinister secrets and supernatural occurrences. As Roger attempts to settle in, he encounters a series of bizarre and terrifying events, including ghostly apparitions and nightmarish visions. The house seems to be a portal to his past, bringing forth memories and fears he'd rather forget, including the mysterious disappearance of his son. Joining the adventure are a cast of quirky characters, including Roger's friend, played by George Wendt, who adds a comedic touch to the chilling narrative. The film expertly balances humor and horror, creating a unique viewing experience that keeps audiences engaged. The house is notable for its practical effects and creative set pieces, which contribute to its eerie atmosphere. The film's mix of genres allows for a playful yet spooky tone, making it distinct in the 1980s horror landscape. Despite its lighter moments, the film touches on deeper themes of loss and regret, as Roger confronts his past while battling the malevolent forces within the house. Though it may not have achieved the same level of fame as other horror classics, The House has garnered a cult following. It's remembered for its innovative approach to storytelling and its blend of genres, making it a fun and memorable entry in the horror comedy genre. With its combination of scares, laughs, and heartfelt moments, The House remains a cherished film for fans of 80s horror. The Kindred is a horror film released in 1987, directed by Stephen Carpenter and Jeffrey Obrow. The story revolves around Dr. Philip Lloyd, played by Rod Steiger, a geneticist who returns to his late mother's family home with a group of assistants to uncover the secrets of her groundbreaking research on rapid human evolution. As they delve deeper into the mystery, they discover that Philip has a monstrous, tentacled baby brother named Anthony, the terrifying result of his mother's experiments. With a rival scientist also on the hunt for Anthony, the tension escalates as Philip and his team race against time to find the creature before it falls into the wrong hands. The film features a blend of body horror and supernatural elements, with practical effects that create a chilling atmosphere. Alongside Steiger, the cast includes Kim Hunter and David Allen Brooks, whose performances add depth to the suspenseful narrative. The Kindred is noted for its eerie setting and engaging plot, though it has received mixed reviews over the years. It currently holds an IMDb rating of 5.7, reflecting its status as a cult classic among horror enthusiasts. Critics have praised its unique premise, which combines elements of science fiction and horror, and its exploration of ethical dilemmas in scientific experimentation. The film showcases impressive creature effects, particularly in its climax, where the true horror of Anthony is revealed. While some viewers find the setup slow, the payoff is filled with tense and shocking moments, making it a memorable entry in the genre. With its mix of suspense, horror, and drama, The Kindred remains a noteworthy film for those who appreciate 80s horror cinema, exploring themes of family, legacy, and the consequences of playing with nature. Hellgate is a horror film released in 1989, directed by William A. Levy. The story revolves around a brutal motorcycle gang that kidnaps and murders a young woman named Josie, setting off a chain of supernatural events. Years later, her father discovers a magical crystal that can resurrect the dead and decides to bring Josie back to life. Once reanimated, Josie lures unsuspecting visitors to the ghost town of Hellgate, where her father exacts revenge on those who wronged them. The film blends elements of slasher horror with supernatural themes, creating a unique but often chaotic narrative. Starring Ron Palillo as Matt and Abigail Wolcott as Josie, the film features a mix of camp and horror, with performances that have garnered mixed reviews. Critics have noted the film's poor acting, cheesy script, and low production values, which contribute to its status as a cult classic among fans of bad horror movies. With a runtime of 91 minutes, Hellgate has an IMDb rating of 3.7, reflecting its polarizing reception. While the film is often criticized for its execution, it features moments of unintentional humor and bizarre special effects, including a resurrected turtle and other creatures that add to its charm for fans of the genre. Hellgate is remembered for its quirky premise, and the combination of horror and dark comedy, appealing to viewers who enjoy low-budget films that embrace their flaws. Its legacy continues as a staple in discussions about so bad it's good cinema, making it a memorable entry in the annals of 80s horror. The Changeling is a chilling supernatural thriller released in 1980, directed by Peter Medak. The story centers around John Russell, portrayed by George C. Scott. After the tragic loss of his wife and daughter, John seeks solace in a secluded mansion, hoping to escape his grief. But what he finds instead is a different kind of torment. As John settles in, he begins to experience unsettling phenomena: strange noises, ghostly apparitions, and an overwhelming sense of dread. The atmosphere is thick with tension, drawing the viewer deeper into the mystery. Determined to understand what's happening, John investigates the mansion's dark past. He uncovers a tragic story involving a tormented child, leading to a harrowing confrontation with the supernatural. Joining John on his journey is Claire Norman, played by Trish Van Devere. Together, they delve into the mansion's secrets, unraveling a haunting tale that intertwines love, loss, and vengeance. The film also features Melvyn Douglas as Professor Bennington, who assists John in piecing together the chilling history of the mansion. Douglas's performance adds depth to the narrative, enhancing the emotional stakes. The Changeling is renowned for its atmospheric tension and masterful storytelling. It creates a palpable sense of fear without relying on excessive gore or jump scares, making it a standout in the horror genre. Though not as widely recognized as other horror classics, The Changeling has earned a dedicated cult following. It received nominations for several awards, including a Saturn Award for Best Actor for George C. Scott. With its eerie atmosphere and emotional depth, The Changeling remains a powerful exploration of grief and the supernatural. If you haven't seen it yet, prepare for a haunting experience that lingers long after the credits roll. The Nesting is a horror mystery film released in 1981, directed by Armand Weston. The story centers on Lauren Cochran, a writer suffering from agoraphobia, played by Robin Groves. In search of peace and inspiration for her latest book, She rents a secluded Victorian house, unaware of its dark history as a former brothel haunted by the ghosts of murdered prostitutes. As Lauren begins to settle in, she experiences eerie occurrences and strange visions, all tied to the tragic past of the house. The film delves into themes of fear, isolation, and the supernatural, as Lauren grapples with her own psychological struggles while confronting the vengeful spirits that inhabit her new home. The supporting cast features notable actors like John Carradine as Colonel LeBrun, who provides a mix of humor and exposition, and Gloria Graham in her final role as a ghostly madam. Their performances add depth to the narrative, enriching the atmosphere of suspense and intrigue. While the film starts strong with an engaging premise and some genuinely creepy moments, it has received mixed reviews. It currently holds an IMDb rating of 4.9, reflecting its status as a lesser-known entry in the horror genre. Critics have pointed out that the pacing slows in the second half, and the narrative can feel formulaic at times, but it still offers a few memorable set pieces and atmospheric visuals. The nesting is visually intriguing, utilizing its haunting setting to create a sense of dread. The film effectively combines elements of gothic horror with psychological tension, making it an interesting watch for fans of supernatural thrillers. With its unique blend of horror and character-driven storytelling, The Nesting remains a notable entry in early 80s horror cinema, appealing to those who enjoy haunted house tales and psychological drama. Sleepaway Camp is a cult classic horror film released in 1983, directed by Robert Hiltzik. The story follows Angela Baker, portrayed by Felissa Rose, a shy and introverted teenager who, along with her cousin Ricky, is sent to Camp Arawak for the summer. What begins as a typical camp experience quickly turns sinister as a series of gruesome murders unfold. The film opens with a tragic incident from Angela's childhood that sets the stage for her psychological struggles. As the camp season progresses, Angela becomes the target of bullying and cruel pranks from her peers, which intensifies the tension. The film explores themes of identity, trauma, and the darker sides of adolescence, all while maintaining a slasher film format. Throughout the movie, the body count rises, with inventive and shocking death scenes that have become iconic in horror cinema. The performances, particularly by Rose and Jonathan Tiersten as Ricky, add depth to the characters, making the viewer invested in their fates. One of the standout features of Sleepaway Camp is its notorious twist ending, which has shocked audiences since its release. The film's climactic reveal has cemented its place in horror history, often discussed and dissected by fans and critics alike. With a runtime of 84 minutes, Sleepaway Camp is known for its campy aesthetic, 80s charm, and memorable dialogue. Despite its low budget and mixed reviews upon release, it has gained a loyal following, currently holding an IMDb rating of 6.2. The film is celebrated for its unique take on the slasher genre and remains a staple in horror movie marathons. The combination of suspense, dark humor, and an unforgettable finale makes Sleepaway Camp a must-see for horror aficionados, ensuring its legacy continues in the genre. The Howling is a groundbreaking horror film released in 1981, directed by Joe Dante. The film is notable for its innovative take on the werewolf genre, blending horror with social commentary and dark humor. Based on the novel by Gary Brandner, the story follows news anchor Karen White, portrayed by Dee Wallace, who is sent to a remote commune after a traumatic encounter with a serial killer. As Karen and her husband Bill arrive at the secluded community known as the Colony, they quickly discover that it is home to a group of mysterious residents with a dark secret. The film expertly builds tension and atmosphere, utilizing practical effects and makeup by renowned effects artist Rob Bottin, which were groundbreaking for the time. The narrative explores themes of identity, transformation, and the primal instincts that lie within humans. As Karen begins to uncover the truth about the colony, the film transitions into a chilling exploration of werewolf lore, culminating in intense and memorable transformation sequences that have become iconic in horror cinema. The Howling is praised for its well-crafted screenplay and strong performances, particularly by Wallace and her co-stars, including Patrick Macnee and Dennis Dugan. The film balances suspense and gore with a satirical edge, poking fun at both the horror genre and societal fears of the time. With a runtime of 91 minutes, The Howling was a commercial success and received positive reviews, solidifying its place as a classic in the werewolf subgenre. It currently holds an IMDb rating of 6.6, reflecting its enduring appeal. The film's blend of horror, humor, and social critique, along with its impressive special effects, has influenced countless filmmakers and remains a beloved entry in 80s horror cinema. Its legacy continues to thrive, inspiring sequels and a dedicated fan base. TerrorVision is a horror comedy film released in 1986, directed by Ted Nicolau. The plot revolves around the Putterman family, who install a new satellite television system that inadvertently receives signals from outer space. This leads to the unintended consequence of an alien monster being transported into their home. As the monster begins to wreak havoc, the film blends slapstick humor with horror elements, creating a unique and campy viewing experience. Notable performances include Diane Franklin as Susie, Garrett Graham as Stan, and Mary Woronov as Raquel, who bring a delightful absurdity to their roles. The film is characterized by its colorful set design, quirky characters, and a distinctive visual style that reflects the 1980s aesthetic. It also features a playful critique of suburban life and media consumption, echoing themes from other cult classics of the era. TerrorVision runs for 85 minutes and has garnered a cult following, currently holding an IMDb rating of 5.5. While it may not have been a commercial success upon release, it has since become a beloved film among fans of B-movie horror and comedy. The film showcases a mix of outrageous special effects and comedic moments, making it a fun watch for those who appreciate campy horror. With its bizarre premise and eccentric characters, TerrorVision remains a memorable entry in the genre, celebrated for its creativity and humor. Chopping Mall is a cult classic horror film released in 1986, directed by Jim Wynorski. The story follows a group of young employees at a shopping mall who decide to stay after hours for a party. However, when a lightning storm causes the mall's robot security system to malfunction, the fun quickly turns into a deadly game of survival. The film features a mix of dark comedy and horror, highlighting the absurdity of its premise. The robot security guards, designed to protect the mall, become lethal threats as they hunt down the partygoers. The blend of campy dialogue, cheesy special effects, and over-the-top scenarios creates a uniquely entertaining experience. Starring Kelly Maroney as Allison, Tony O'Dell as Ferdy, and Russell Todd as Rick, the film showcases a cast of likable characters that contribute to its charm. The setting, filmed at the Sherman Oaks Galleria, adds a genuine mall culture vibe, creating a nostalgic backdrop for the chaos that ensues. With a runtime of 77 minutes, Chopping Mall has garnered a 5.6 rating on IMDb. While it received mixed reviews upon its release, it has since gained a dedicated fan base, celebrated for its blend of horror tropes and humor. The film is remembered for its memorable quotes, outrageous killings, and a satirical take on consumer culture. It embodies the spirit of 80s B-movies, making it a must-watch for fans of the genre who enjoy a good mix of thrills and laughs. As we wrap up our exploration of 80s horror, it's clear that this vibrant decade continues to influence filmmakers and fright fans alike. Whether you're a longtime fan or discovering these gems for the first time, the 80s horror landscape is a treasure trove of thrills and chills. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey. Remember, the horror never truly dies. It just waits for the next scream. Until next time, keep the lights on and the nightmares at bay. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below to let us know what movies should be on our next list. We want to hear your favorites.